Qalqilya is a Palestinian city in the West Bank. Qalqilya serves as the administrative center of the Qalqilya Governorate. In the official 2007 census, the city had a population of 41,739. Qalqilya is surrounded by the Israeli West Bank barrier with a narrow gap in the east controlled by the Israeli military and a tunnel to Hableh. History. The vicinity of Qalqilya has been populated since prehistoric times, as attested to by the discovery of prehistoric flint tools. Ottoman era. In 1596, Qalqilya appeared in Ottoman tax registers as a village in the Nahiyah of Bani Sab in the Lower of Nablus. It had a population of 13 Muslim households and paid taxes on wheat, barley, summer crops, olives, and goats or beehives. In 1882, Qalqilya was described as a large, somewhat straggling village with cisterns to the north and a pool on the southwest. The houses are badly built. According to the Qalqilya municipality, the modern city was founded in 1893 by residents of nearby Bakar al-Hatab. A municipal council to administer Qalqilya was established in 1909. British Mandate period. In the 1922 census of Palestine conducted by the British Mandate authorities, Qalqilya had a population of 2,803, increasing in the 1931 census to 3,867, in a total of 796 houses. In 1945 the population of Qalqilya was 5,850, all Arabs, who owned 27,915 dunams of land according to an official land and population survey. Of this, 3,701 dunams were for citrus and bananas, 3,232 were plantations and irrigable land, 16,197 used for cereals, while 273 dunams were built upland. Jordanian period. In the wake of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, and after the 1949 armistice agreements, Qalqilya came under Jordanian rule. During the war, many inhabitants from nearby and currently depopulated villages, including Kafr Saba, Abu Kish, Miska, Bayar Adis and Sheikh Muwanis, fled to Qalqilya as refugees. On the night of 10 October 1956, the Israeli army launched a raid against Qalqilya police station. The attack was ordered by Moshe Dayan and involved several thousand soldiers. During the fighting, a paratroop company was surrounded by Jordanian troops and the survivors only escaped under close air cover from 4 Israeli Air Force aircraft. 18 Israelis and between 70 and 90 Jordanians were killed in the operation. Contemporary period. Qalqilya was occupied by Israeli forces during the Six-Day War in 1967. After the conquest of Qalqilya in 1967, dozens of its inhabitants were evicted by Israel to Jordan, and at least 850 buildings were razed. In his memoirs, Moshe Dayan described the destruction as a punishment that was designed to chase the inhabitants away. The villages were eventually allowed to return, and the reconstruction of damaged houses was financed by the military authorities. In September 1967, a census found 8,922 persons, of whom 1,837 were originally from Israeli territory. As part of the 1993 Oslo Accords between Israel and the Palestine Liberation Organization, control of Qalqilya was transferred to the Palestinian National Authority on 17 December 1995. In 2003, the Israeli West Bank barrier was built, encircling the town and separating it from agricultural lands on the other side of the wall. In November 2015, Israel arrested what it alleged to be a network of 24 Hamas militants active in the city. Geography. Qalqilya is located in the northwestern West Bank, straddling the border with Israel. It is 16 kilometers southwest of the Palestinian city of Tulkarm, and the nearest localities are the Arab-Israeli city of Tyre and the Palestinian hamlet of Arab al-Ramadan al-Shamali to the northeast, the Palestinian village of Nabi Ilyas to the east, the Palestinian hamlets Arab Abu Fada and Arab al-Ramadan al-Janubi, and the Israeli settlement of Alfei Menashe to the southwest, and the Palestinian village Hableh and Arab-Israeli town of Qalqilya to the south. Qalqilya has an average elevation of 57 meters above sea level. The average annual rainfall 587.4 millimeters and the average annual temperature is 19 degrees Celsius. Demographics. The 1997 census by the Palestinian Central Bureau of Statistics recorded Qalqilya's population to be 22,168. The majority of the inhabitants were Palestinian refugees of the descendants. In the 2007 census, Qalqilya's population grew to 41,739. The number of registered households was 7,866. Among the largest families in Qalqilya of the Nazal, Shraim, Dawood, Zaid, Sabawi and Al-Ka'an. Government. Hamas won the 2006 municipal elections in Qalqilya and one of its members, Waji Kawis, became mayor, although he was incarcerated by Israel for much of his term. On the 12th of September 2009, the PNA dismissed Kawis for allowing Qalqilya's debt to grow unchecked, failing to attract international funding for city projects and ignoring orders by the Palestinian government. Kawis, however, viewed his dismissal as a result of the ongoing feud between Hamas, which dominates the PNA in the Gaza Strip, and Fatah, which dominates the PNA in the West Bank. Human rights groups criticized Kawis's dismissal, condemning the intervention by the Central Palestinian authorities in the affairs of an elected official. During the 2012 municipal elections, Fatah member Othman Dawood was elected mayor. Economy. Between 1967 and 1995, almost 80% of Qalqilya's labor force worked for Israeli companies or industries in the construction and agriculture sectors. The remaining 20% engaged in trade and commerce, marketing across the Green Line. According to a field survey taken by the Applied Research Institute Jerusalem, 45% of Qalqilya's working population was employed in government, 25% worked in agriculture, 15% worked in trade and commerce, 10% worked in industry and 5% worked in Israeli labor. In 2012, the unemployment rate was 22%, with those most affected formerly employed in agriculture, trade and services. The city is particularly known for its citrus crop, and 17.6% of its lands are planted with citrus days. Other major crops are olives and vegetables. As of 2012, there were 145 grocery stores, 35 produce stores, 18 bakeries, 18 butcheries, 133 service-oriented businesses, 80 various professional workshops, 6 hardware stores and 10 stonemasons operating in Qalqilya. Qalqilya Zoo, established in 1986, is the largest zoo in the West Bank and, according to its owner, is the city's single largest employer. It serves as one of Qalqilya's main attractions. The zoo houses 170 animals and works closely with zoologists from the Jerusalem Biblical Zoo and the Ramat Gan Safari. Land usage and the barrier. Of the city's total area of 10,252 dunams, 3,027 were built-up areas, 266 were used for industrial purposes, 2,894 were planted with permanent crops, 419 were used for greenhouses, 274 for livestock ranges, 2,343 were classified as arable, and 283 dunams were occupied by the West Bank barrier. Nearly all of Qalqilya's urban area is under Palestinian civil jurisdiction and Israeli military control, while 64.7% of the city's municipal territory, mostly agricultural lands and open spaces, is under Israeli civil and military control. Israel's construction of the barrier began in 2002 and isolates Qalqilya from the north, west, south, and half of its eastern side, leaving a corridor in the east connecting it with smaller Palestinian villages and hamlets. Israel states its construction of the wall is for security purposes, particularly to prevent infiltration by Palestinian militants into Israel as had occurred during the Second Intifada. The Palestinians state that the barrier is meant to annex Palestinian lands and control the movement of Palestinians. The barrier has negatively affected Qalqilya's economy, particularly the commercial and trade sectors, because it has separated the city from nearby Palestinian localities and bordering Arab towns in Israel, which contributed about 40% of the city's income prior to the barrier's completion. The barrier has also separated 1,836 dunams of mostly agricultural lands and open spaces within Qalqilya's jurisdiction from the city proper. Social relations between Qalqilya's inhabitants and those of other Palestinian cities have also been hindered by the barrier. Education. According to the 2007 PCBS census, 95.3% of the inhabitants over the age of 10 were literate. About 75% of the illiterate population were women. The town has 21 public schools, 4 private schools, 3 schools managed by UNRWA, and 13 kindergartens. All schools are overseen by the Palestinian Ministry of Higher Education. As of 2012, there were 12,286 residents enrolled in school, with 660 teaching staff. In 2007, 10.5% of the population had graduated from an institution of higher education, while 15.7% had completed secondary education, 27.5% preparatory education, 27.4% elementary education, and 13.8% had no formal education. There are 2 colleges in the city. The Idobi Islamic College, established in 1978, and a campus of the Al-Quds Open University, established in 1998. Notable residents: Walid al-Husseini, writer, secular humanist, founder of Council of Ex-Muslims of France. Abu Ali Iyad, Fatah field commander in Jordan and Syria. Bibliography.